So let's summarize what we've learned so far. We've learned that hackers are out to get your information. They're out to get your money, your organization's money, and to breach and compromise your networks. And they're going to use a variety of different attacks to get you to allow them to breach your networks. One of those attacks is called a phishing attack, where they use email to hack into your systems. There are two types of attacks. There's an authority-based attack and a generic emotion-based attack. We talked about amygdala hijacking in terms of learning to recognize your emotions, and whenever you feel the emotions of urgency, panic, fear, greed, or any other type of emotion, based on an email, we should immediately consider that email to be suspicious. We also covered the different things to look at in terms of comparing the from name with the from email address itself, looking out for red flags within the emails themselves, misspellings, grammatical errors. As far as authority-based attacks, we talked about spear phishing. Authority-based attacks are probably the most dangerous attacks simply because they are credible. The combination of an authority-based attack and an emotion-based attack is highly powerful because it's utilizing the most powerful aspects of both, building credibility and emotion. We've covered the techniques that we use to prevent those in terms of simply picking up the phone and calling the person being referenced back. We also talked about pretext calling. And again, pretext calling can take a variety of formats where it can be a simple call that's easy to recognize versus one that's been with a spoofed caller ID phone number from your main location or the location of where your network administrator is, or the location of where your network support vendor is at, or the location of where another person being referenced is at, to use to build authority and to build credibility during the call. And the one primary technique of defeating these types of attacks is, again, to simply pick up the phone and call somebody to a number that you know. What we haven't talked about is when we combine some of these attacks and start with an email. Phishing attacks are when we send either a spoofed email or a spear phishing email to you from someone of authority. Let's say that we're a hacker that wants to access your physical location. We could send an email from your CEO or your facilities manager to you stating that someone from pest control will be coming. It's something you have approved and to allow this company to do what they need to do. The hacker would then come dressed up as pest control, and if you haven't confirmed this, they will most likely have full access to the physical location being targeted. Another example is an email from your IT staff to you, spoofed or spearphished, stating that someone from ABC Company is going to call shortly. Please go ahead and give them remote access or whatever they need. Then the hacker from the fictitious ABC Company calls and you allow them in. Always pick up the phone and ask your IT staff if this is a legitimate call. We would even have you take it a step further and let the caller from ABC Company know that you'll be calling them back at the number your IT staff provides. Then double check with your IT staff and proceed from there. And we'll show a sample of that as well. If you take a look at the screen, we have the same screen that we saw when we were talking about spear phishing and comparing spear phishing and spoofing attacks. Here's an example of what would be a potential phishing attack, where I'm sending an email, and let's say it's a financial institution in the bank, and the bank's network administrator's name is Nathan Jeffries, and his email address is njeffries at Bank of the US.com, and we're going to send the email to me. So the interesting thing here is, you see it says IT support. Jeff from Solutions will be calling you shortly. I have already spoken with him, and it's okay to give him whatever computer information he's looking for. He might need to remote into your computer as well. He's authorized to do so. I will be tied up in the meetings for the rest of the day. So first of all, we've established credibility with the name as well as the spearphished email. And then on top of that, we've given permission. We've almost given a get out of jail free card in some way to the victim at this point, who gets this email and says, well, Nathan told me I was allowed to do this. And lastly, by saying I will be tied up in meetings the rest of the day, rest of the day, where in some ways they're trying to prevent the victim of this spear phishing attack from being able to pick up the phone and call us, or to being able to walk over to our office and check in with us, by us saying that we'll be tied up in meetings for the rest of the day. And so when we send this, it has a dramatic effect. We would normally follow up with a phone call after an email like this, saying that, hey, my name is Jeff from Solutions, and I know that Nathan sent you an email a little bit ago, and we need to go ahead and get started with our remote support so we can do some testing. And then even if you say, I still need to speak with Nathan, our point of view at that point will say, well, I think Nathan let you know that we're supposed to be calling. It's either if you want to cooperate or if you don't. So hackers will take this many steps further. It's important to cut them off as soon as possible so you don't get bound into their logic and the manipulation that a hacker is able to do. So simply picking up the phone and calling Nathan Jeffries, or if Nathan Jeffries was truly out of the office, then it's simply a matter of waiting. You should always wait before, and your network administrator should give you permission to wait, unless Nathan comes over and tells you that you have to be doing this, or gives you a phone call. And even then, you want to make sure it's his voice and authenticate properly. So if you can tell, spear phishing attack combined with a follow-up phone call, where we could even potentially spoof the phone number of wherever Nathan Jeffries is located at and say that we're actually here on site with him and he's in a meeting right now. So just an example of a phishing attack.